Hi everyone and welcome back to Ben's Kitchen. I'm back at it again. I am redoing the pastry today. This is really the start of it. And so I'm making Pasteis de Nata, which are the Portuguese custard tarts, famous in Lisbon from the Belém Patisserie. Really freaking good. My favorite pastry of all time. I just had them for the first time at the beginning of the summer. Amazing. And so what I did with the dough this time is it was too sticky for me to work with, so I just added a little bit more flour, about 28 more grams, and that made it more like the description in the recipe, and so I'm going to go with that, and it should work out. I'm not too worried about changing it that much, just a little bit drier of a dough, but it should work out totally fine. Alright, this has to rest, and I'll be back in about 15 minutes. Alright, so it's been resting for about 15 minutes, and now I'm going to roll it out into roughly an 18 by 18 square. It doesn't have to be perfect. This cutting board that I'm using, because we have tile countertops, which you never want to roll dough out on unless they are brand new countertops, because things just get stuck in the cracks. But this cutting board is only 18 inches wide on one side, it's wide on the other side. So yeah, we'll try this out. Hopefully it'll go better today. So not too bad, I would say. That's not a hole, that's just like a little lip. So now I'm going to brush off all this excess flour. And then I'm going to start putting 1/3 of the butter on this 2/3 of the dough. I'm leaving an inch around so that it can seal and make those distinctive layers. This is kind of a similar process to making croissant dough, or croissant dough, as people like to say. But we're not going to say it that way because it's weird. So yeah, and here we go. Sorry, it's kind of boring. It's just a lot of like tan color. Awesome. So now I've dotted the butter out on this 2/3 side of the dough, and I'm just going to use my hands to rub it into an even layer, because I could try to do it with an offset spatula or a spoon or a knife or something, but I think I'm going to be the most nimble and get an even coverage the easiest with my hands, and then I'll just wash it off. Sometimes you just gotta use your hands. It's just sometimes the best tool in the kitchen. See what I mean? Look at that. Look at that layer. So easy. It was so quick too. So I'm gonna fold this unbuttered third over and then fold that third over there. So make like a little trifold. Awesome. This is how we get the lamination and all those layers in. See what I mean? I also floured off that. And I'm gonna fold it again. So that is all folded. Now I'm going to roll it out and do the same procedure. Butter the left side and then fold it over, and then I'm going to do it again. So until I use all the butter up, I believe. Maybe I just do it once. I don't know. I think I just do it once, not like it's a recipe. I know that I do this, so I have to roll it out to an 18 square again. So exciting. Yeah, I actually only do it once more, then I'm remembering it. Cool. Alright, bye. Again, I dotted the butter. I'm going to smooth it out and fold. Cool. Alright, did it again. I'm going to not show you all the folds now, but I'm going to show you once I roll it out again. Butter on buttered side. Yeah, kind of a lot of boring stuff. But if you want to learn, this is cool. So now I've rolled it out the last time, and it's now 18 by 21. Again, because of the size of the cutting board, I had to do it this way. And now I'm going to spread the remaining 1/3 of a cup, which is 1/3 of the mix, because we're using a cup of butter in it, over the entire thing, and then roll it up into a log. So super exciting. Woohoo! So I've now buttered the whole thing, just 1/3 of a cup of butter on this whole last side. So now I'm going to roll this into a log, and that is going to be difficult. So I will show you once it's all done, because I don't want to stop at all once I start. And I definitely need both hands. So yeah, see you when it's all rolled up. So here it is. I've cut into a log, or I've rolled into a log, and I cut off and trimmed the edges, and I cut it in half. I'm going to wrap these tightly each in a plastic wrap, and then refrigerate them for at least 2 hours. I'm going to do longer and make these tonight. Super exciting. I'll make the custard next. So in here I got a 1/4 cup of whole milk and just a few tablespoons of flour. This is going to be working as the thickening agent for the custard. I'm just whisking this together until smooth in a bowl. And then once this is all done, I'll go on the next step of making the custard. Awesome. So in this pan, there's just water, sugar, 1 cinnamon stick that I've crushed, and then a little bit of a lemon peel. And so this kind of gives it that classic flavor. You don't have to use cinnamon or lemon. You can use one or the other, or both, or neither. I like the flavor of both, so I'm just going to use a little bit. Use a bigger, you can use larger amounts of either, too. And so I'm going to basically bring this to a boil and cook it without stirring it until it reaches 220 degrees Fahrenheit on a little candy thermometer. Yeah, okay. And then I'm going to scald some milk in my beautiful espresso machine with the steaming wand. So the syrup came up to temperature, so I poured it in here. This is where the flour and milk was, and I also poured in the cup of milk that I scalded in here. And so this is really hot, and we're going to add egg yolks, but you do not want to add egg yolks to a really hot mixture, because if you do, they could basically become scrambled eggs, which is no good for making custard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically whisk this until it's warm but not hot anymore. And then I'm going to add in the 6 egg yolks. And then that should be, I think, it for the custard. It's a pretty thin custard, but since you bake it at such a high heat, it bakes really quick. We're going to bake this at 550, which is ridiculous. The ovens at the Belle M place in Lisbon bake these at 800 degrees Fahrenheit. Most commercial ovens, or most household ovens, do not get that hot. I don't think any do, actually. So yeah, cool beans. So this mixture is now cooled down. It's warm still, which is really nice. And now I'm going to add in 6 egg yolks. And fun fact, the way that this got brought up, or that this was created, was, I can't remember what time it was, but whatever. Basically, there's this monastery in Lisbon called the Geronimo's Monastery. And back in the olden days, they used egg whites to starch their robes, because they all had these white robes that they had to keep in pristine condition. And so they had all these egg yolks left over, and so that's kind of how this custard tart was born. I don't really know any more information than that. Sorry. I'm not a nutritional anthropologist, but I just thought that was kind of a cool little bit of information. Basically, I'm going to add in the egg yolks, whisk this really good, and then I'm going to strain it into a different container to get all of these bits out and anything that's left over, so it creates a smooth custard, which would be nice. So yeah, I'm going to separate out the egg yolks and mix them in. So we have all the egg yolks in there. Beautiful thing. And now I'm going to whisk it together and strain it into a different container, and I'll show you once it's all strained. So there's the strained mixture. There's all the solids. That's kind of pretty, actually, don't you think? I don't know, the way the light's hitting it, the colors. I also have some egg whites left over. I don't want to waste those. I don't know what I'm going to do with those. I do a number of things. I don't know. And yeah, so I'm just going to put this in the fridge, and then tonight, or this late afternoon, I am going to bake these puppies up. I'm really excited. I hope they turn out well. I've never made these, so everything could go wrong, or everything could go right, or I guess somewhere in between, if you're one of those, like, the world is full of graves type of people. Anyways, this is weird. I'm going to stop now, because I am just gibbering. Alright, goodbye. So, it's now been about 4 hours. I'm preheating the oven to 550, which is the hot as it'll go. And I also have rolled out one of the logs into about 13 inches, and I've trimmed it again, as you can see. And then I've scored this every inch. And so I have a muffin tin, 2 muffin tins that are 6 muffin things each in the fridge. And then I'm going to cut these and put those in there and let it just about come to room temperature before I try to form the shells. So it's kind of hard to tell, but you can see the distinctive layers, and that will be more evident when I bake it. But basically, that's all the butter and the flour layers. And so I'm going to push these down, basically, and form them, but they have to come to room temperature, or at least warm up for a little while before I can do this. I don't want the butter to melt out, but it's not warm enough today. So yeah, and if I formed it now, it would just become a mess. I have to be patient and do it this way. This is just half the mixture. So yeah, I'll make some more in a few days, but I'll show you these once they're done today. So I just tried it out with one and it actually worked really well. So I'm going to do the rest and then I'm going to fill them and bake them because the oven preheated super fast, which is awesome. It's a good oven. Yeah, and I'll come back to you when they're all done and show you what they look like, and then I'll fill them. Alright, so they're all filled, or not filled, they're all made, and now I'm going to fill them about 3/4 of the way full and then bake them. Yeah, cool. I'm super duper excited for these to come out. Alright, so they're now filled. It's a really loose mixture, and now I'm going to put it in the oven. Top third of the rack in the oven, and these are going to bake for about 10 to 15 minutes. Just keep an eye on them. Alright, super exciting! So they're out of the oven. I overbaked them just a little bit, but you know what? This is something that I am actually really proud of for my first time. But the true test will be when I eat them. So yeah, pretty good. I think it's a nice looking tart. I'll let these cool a little bit in the pans, and I'll put them on a wire rack after. But just like look at how those look, like kind of those characteristic burn marks. Yeah, I could have probably made the pastry just a little bit thinner in here, but you know what? I'm okay with that. These look great. All right, in a little bit I will put them to a thing and let them cool so that they don't burn your mouth, but you should eat them while they're still warm. Woohoo! So here the 12 are. They've cooled a little bit. Can't eat it yet. But as you can see, not perfect by any means, but a nice bake on these, even if they did burn a little bit on the edges. I think that's a little okay. You know, I would try to avoid that next time, but you know, they're a nice size, not super uniform. But you know, this is my first time making it, so I'm okay with that. It's all about learning, and I bet you they'll taste good. But yeah, I will come back in a little bit to try a taste, and yeah, hopefully they taste great. Super exciting. A little bit more of a close-up. Just look at how good that looks. Yeah, I just want to show you that. I'll eat them soon, put powdered sugar on them, and then eat them soon. Alright folks, so me and Shai tried them. They're still a little bit too warm, so that's not how you're supposed to serve them, but we can just tell that the custard is basically perfect. I think it could use a little bit more of a lemon taste in it, and maybe a little less of cinnamon. However, amazing. And the crust, obviously, I didn't get perfect. It needs to be a little flakier, so I need to do a little bit better job on the lamination, and then just forming them. But you know, for the first try, these are pretty damn close. I mean, like, I would take these over basically any other pastry, any other day, any day of the week, any day of the year. And these ones, I mean, obviously they're not going to be as good as Belém. Those are the OG, but man. Well, thanks for watching, and hopefully next time I make something just as exciting, or more exciting, because this wasn't the best, most exciting video. Alright, see you next time. Bye.